Discover the incredible moment a millionaire uncovered his fiancée's shocking abuse of his mother. It was a bright Saturday afternoon, and Tyler, a self-made millionaire, couldn't help but feel like the world was his oyster. In a bustling suburban neighborhood just outside Chicago, he had built a life that reflected success. Fancy cars sat in his driveway. A beautiful home filled with laughter and love stood proudly amongst the others. But more than anything, he had Sarah, the love of his life, by his side. They were engaged, and Tyler felt invincible. However, that feeling would soon begin to unravel like a cheap sweater. The turning point came unexpectedly when Jake, an old high school friend, approached. Their reunion was filled with nostalgic stories until Jake's voice shifted, turning serious. "Tyler, after the charity event last month, I've seen some concerning behavior from Sarah towards your mom." Instinctively, Tyler dismissed Jake's claims. Sarah adored Betty, his sweet, self-sacrificing mother. How could he believe such a thing? Yet lingering doubt crept into his mind like fog on a cold morning. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Tyler couldn't shake Jake's concerns. He noticed Sarah's interactions with Betty slipping into something uncomfortable. Once warm and caring, her demeanor shifted to a strange possessiveness, leaving Tyler uneasy. He began watching closely, subtle hints of manipulation creeping into Sarah's behavior as tension bubbled beneath the surface. Every evening, he returned home to find Betty tugging nervously at her cardigan, glancing at Sarah with apprehension that broke Tyler's heart. Was this the love he thought he had found? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As community gatherings buzzed with faint whispers about Sarah, Tyler felt the pressure mount. The facade of a perfect life began to crumble, revealing raw emotions and hidden fears. Then came the fateful family dinner, where feelings sharpened like knives. Tyler could feel the tension in the air as everyone sat around the table, eyes darting back and forth. Each polite smile felt forced. His instincts screamed for clarity as he sat between the two most important women in his life. The moment burst forth like thunder in a clear sky when Tyler challenged Sarah. "Why are you always so on edge round Mom? What's going on?" The room fell silent. Tyler's heart raced, fear and hope colliding. He could see Sarah's walls cracking, her carefully crafted smile faltering. Would she finally reveal the truth? An uneasy breath filled the air, heavy with expectation, as he braced for Sarah's response. And in that charged moment, Tyler realized that his choice was looming. A choice not just between love or family, but an understanding of what worth fighting for truly meant. As emotions swirled around him, he knew he was on the verge of discovering something bigger than himself. Would he uncover the truth hidden in every carefully chosen word, or would he let it all slip away? Tyler's heart pounded in his chest as silence engulfed the room. The clinking of forks on plates faded into the background, replaced by the weight of his question hanging in the air. Sarah's eyes darted away, her fingers fiddling with the napkin resting on her lap. A part of him wondered if he had made a mistake, but he couldn't turn back now. "Tyler," she began, but her voice trailed off, barely audible. The tension in the room thickened, suffocating. Betty shifted in her chair, the strain evident on her face. All she had ever wanted was to see her son happy. Her wide eyes stared at Tyler, silently urging him to tread cautiously. But he couldn't let it go, couldn't ignore the truth any longer. "Please, Sarah," he said firmly, though concern seeped into his tone. "Just tell me what's going on. I can't protect you from everything. I need to know you're not hurting my mom." A flicker of something, fear or anger, flashed across Sarah's face. "I'm not hurting her. You've got it all wrong, Tyler." The words shot out like daggers, and Tyler flinched. The defensiveness only fueled his worry. Betty's hand trembled as she reached out, placing it on Tyler's arm. "Honey, let's just enjoy dinner," she started, but her voice was fragile. "No, Mom," Tyler responded, feeling trapped between the two women he loved. "I need to understand this. I can't walk into our future without knowing the truth." Then, as if a dam had broken, Sarah's mask slipped entirely. "You think you know me so well, Tyler? But you don't see what's right in front of you." Her voice was laced with desperation now, and she leaned forward, eyes blazing. "Your mother? She needs help. She's weak, and it's suffocating me." Stunned silence stretched across the table. Weak? Tyler felt his insides twist. How could Sarah say that about someone who had given her all? Instinctively, he shifted his gaze to Betty. The hurt in her eyes mirrored his own disbelief. "Tyler," Betty whispered, trembling, "I just want you both to be happy." "But at what cost, Mom?" he shot back, pressure mounting. "Is this what you want, Sarah? To manipulate her?" "I'm not manipulating anyone," she fired, voice rising. "But if you can't see that your mother is holding us back, then maybe it's you who needs to choose." A chasm opened beneath Tyler, and he felt the ground slip away. The world around them faded, their once warm home now chillingly foreign. He had been so blind, so desperate to believe in the perfect life they had crafted together. Could he really be marrying someone like this? "I can't do this!" he shouted, the frustration boiling over like a raging storm. With his heart aching, Tyler stood abruptly, chair scraping against the wood floor as he planted himself firmly. "If you can't respect my family, how can you expect me to respect our future? Maybe you're not the woman I thought you were." Sarah recoiled, expression hardening. "So that's it then? You just throw it all away?" The question hung in the air, thick with despair. Tyler's mind raced, and he realized he stood at a crucial crossroad. Love and loyalty battled fiercely within him. "Tyler," Betty's voice broke through, whispering from an old place of warmth. But all he could do was gaze at Sarah, now filled with an intensity that terrified him. In that discordant moment, a precarious choice loomed before him, a choice that would redefine everything. Or would he allow himself to be dragged deeper into a darkness he hadn't yet fully comprehended? Yet, as Tyler wrestled with the enormity of what lay ahead, a revelation sparked within him. If this was a test of love, then perhaps it was time to confront all their truths. What came next would change everything, yet he could feel the weight of uncertainty looming in the air. Would he find the courage to protect not just his mother, but his entire future? Tyler's breath came in short bursts, each exhale mingling with the suffocating tension in the air. He refused to let himself waver, though doubt gnawed at his insides. What was he supposed to do now? He glanced again at Sarah, her expression tight, her entire posture radiating defiance. He wanted, no, needed to find a middle ground, but with emotions running high, that felt impossible. "Sarah, listen," he said, softening his voice, trying to break through her defensive walls. "I care about you. I don't understand how you could say those things about my mom." Her mouth twisted into a bitter smile, and his heart sank. "Caring about me shouldn't come at the cost of seeing the truth, Tyler. Your mother's frailty isn't just her problem, it's ours. She's been in that same chair, playing the victim, while we're the ones trying to build something real." His gut churned. Was that how she really felt? The woman he loved painted his mother as a burden? The thought felt like a stab in the chest, and he fought the wave of anger rising within him. You can't just disregard everything she's done, all the sacrifices. Don't you see that? Oh, I see everything perfectly well, Sarah shot back, her voice rising. But you're so busy being her knight in shining armor that you're blind to how she suffocates us, how she's holding you back. Desperation clawed inside him. Would they really risk losing what they had over this? He ran a hand through his hair, pacing a few steps away as confusion and hurt battled for control. He felt lost, powerless against the whirlwind of accusations. How had a simple dinner spiraled so completely out of control? Betty remained silent, her face pale and trembling. He could see tears pooling in her eyes. His mother, the bedrock of his life, fighting against invisible demons, while Sarah, the woman he planned to marry, cast her in shadows. It was injustice rooted deep in his heart, and it surged like a volcano ready to erupt. "Sarah, you're making this impossible," he said finally, voice low and strained. "You're talking about the woman who raised me. I can't choose between you two." Her gaze flickered, and for a moment a mask of vulnerability replaced her fierce exterior. "What if you have to, Tyler? These are the moments that define us. You're standing on the edge of a choice. I feel like I've been in a fog, and I can't keep pretending everything's fine." He studied her closely. Beneath the bravado, he could see the fear, the desperation for clarity. But was that clarity rooted in love or self-preservation? His heart raced, caught in the tumult of emotions surrounding them. He opened his mouth to speak, yet the words failed him. Then there was a knock at the door. The sound echoed brightly, disrupting the tension that had dared to swallow them whole. The moment felt surreal, almost cinematic. Who could it be now, and would they bring a much-needed reprieve or only add more chaos to their already fraught evening? Tyler exchanged glances with Betty, confusion clouding their features. The knock came again, this time louder, more insistent. He felt a pang in his chest. The intrusion was unwelcome, yet surprisingly welcome, offering a break from the charged atmosphere bound to explode any second. As he moved toward the door, his heart beat faster, not from the confrontation, but from the uncertainty of what lay beyond. Would it be a friend, a neighbor, or something, someone, who would forever alter the course of this night? Taking a deep breath, he braced himself for whatever awaited him, knowing that everything could shift in a heartbeat. What was behind that door, waiting to be revealed? Tyler opened the door slowly, each creak echoing louder than the last in the charged silence that hung heavily in the room. On the other side stood a man, tall and rugged, with a worried look etched across his features. "Tyler, thank God you're home," the man said, glancing anxiously over his shoulder as though the shadows carried whispers of trouble. "Eric," Tyler blurted out, recognizing his childhood friend immediately. "What's wrong?" Before Eric could answer, Sarah stepped forward, arms crossed tightly over her chest. "Just what we need, another person intruding on our already chaotic evening," she scoffed, her voice sharp like broken glass. "Sarah, please," Tyler pleaded, the heat of the moment threatening to overwhelm him. He needed answers, not more conflict. "What's going on, Eric?" "There's been a fire over at the old community center. You know, the one your mom used to volunteer at. The place is gutted," Eric exclaimed, his eyes darting between Tyler and Sarah. "I thought you'd want to be there. Your mom was always so dedicated. She loved that place." Tyler's heart tightened. "Mom, is she okay?" "She was out helping set up for an event when it happened. She's fine. But," Eric hesitated, brow furrowing, "there are a lot of people who are really shaken up, and they'll need someone to guide them." Tyler felt a surge of urgency. This was a distraction, yes, but maybe it was just what he needed to focus. I need to go help. Mom will want me there. Sarah, can you come with? For a moment, Sarah's expression leveled. A flicker of doubt crossed her features, the anger they shared beginning to wane. Tyler, this isn't going to fix anything between us, she replied softly, almost imploringly. I know that, he said, voice steady, but I need to be there for her. She needs us now more than ever. As he turned back to Eric, urgency building, he caught a glimpse of his mother's framed photographs on the wall, her smiling face filled with warmth and resilience, a reminder of all their shared battles. The fire at the community center wasn't just an event, it was symbolic of her strength. Let's go, he said finally. We don't have time to waste. Stepping outside, the cool evening air hit him like a splash of cold water. He took a deep breath, trying to shake off the turmoil of earlier. Eric fell into pace beside him, while Sarah trailed slightly behind, the weight of uncertainty hanging between them like an unspoken question. As the trio approached the community center, the scent of smoke wafted through the air, heavy and acrid. Tyler's heart raced at the thought of his mother, grateful she was safe, but worried about her reaction to the destruction. He could only imagine what others might be feeling, familiar faces, once brightened by shared laughter, now clouded with despair. When they arrived, the sight struck him hard. Flames licked at the structure, firefighters hurrying to contain the blaze, while a crowd of onlookers murmured in shock. Tyler scanned the gathering faces, seeking his mother's familiar presence among the chaos. Come on, Eric shouted over the roar, urging Tyler forward. Waves of emotion crashed inside him, fear, regret, hope. This wasn't just about the fire or the community center. It was about what anchored them all. Tyler, wait! Sarah's voice cut through the noise, her tone sharp but edged with worry. What about us? We can't ignore. As he turned to address her, a familiar figure broke through the crowd. His chest tightened. There was Betty, standing small but determined, her eyes scanning the chaos. A wave of relief washed over him. She was here. Mom! He yelled, his voice rising above the distressing hum of the scene. But just as he started toward her, another firefighter rushed past, and he heard the words that froze his heart. We're losing control. We need everyone to clear out. Evacuate now! In that moment, as panic began to engulf everything around him, Tyler realized that perhaps tonight would unveil truths far deeper than he anticipated, beyond the fire. But in the chaos, what would he sacrifice to keep those he loved safe? Tyler's pulse quickened as the announcement echoed around him, a chilling reminder that time was slipping away. He stood frozen for a moment, absorbing the frantic energy of the scene. His mother was here, but danger loomed larger by the second. Mom! The word burst from his lips again, louder this time. He glanced back at where she stood, trying to push through the throng of people. He could see her now, a beacon of concern amidst the chaos. She was trying to help others, her instincts to comfort in overdrive, and it sent warmth through him. But the firefighters were serious, and the flames roared with a hunger that was terrifying. Tyler, we have to go. Eric gestured urgently toward the police barricade forming at the edge of the parking lot. The area was swarming with people, eyes wide, whispers mingling with the crackling fire. No, I need to get her out! Tyler shouted back, his heart a battleground of loyalty and fear. But before he could take a step forward, Sarah took his arm, her grip firm. You can't go in there. It's not safe. If one of those walls gives, it could— I don't care, he said, shaking her off. I'm not leaving her. Tyler pushed through the crowd, adrenaline fueling him as he fought to reach Betty. Each face he passed mirrored the collective anxiety, fear etched in their features, some with tears. Their community was unraveling, and his mom was at the heart of everything they had built together. He caught a glimpse of her, still pushing toward those in need, her spirit undeterred. The flames danced ominously behind her, casting flickering shadows that seemed intent on swallowing her whole. "Mom, we need to go, now!" She turned, wariness flashing in her eyes. "Tyler, get back!" "No, you're not staying here. Let's go!" He took her hand, pulling her back toward safety. For a fleeting moment, everything else faded. In that brief connection, he felt her warmth, her strength, and a hint of vulnerability that tugged at his heart. She was always the one who held everything together, but now Tyler felt the weight of his responsibility. He had to protect her, just like she had always protected him. As they reached the edge of the crowd, he saw Eric pull Sarah from where she hesitated. He felt a flicker of gratitude for his friends amidst the turmoil. The firefighters continued issuing orders, their voices urgent as they moved in and out of the chaos. "Everyone, clear out, now!" The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding below. "No!" The word erupted from Betty, her voice carrying both fear and defiance. "We can't leave them!" "Mom, please." Tyler wrapped his arms around her shoulders to shelter her from the chaos around them. "They can handle it. We need to be safe. We need to regroup." Tears glimmered in her eyes as she finally nodded, the fight easing from her stance. "You're right." They turned, slowly making their way away from the flames. Tyler's heart raced, unsure of what would come next. He glanced at Sarah, her face a mask of conflict, concern mixed with an undeniable bond witnessed in that moment of crisis. Once they reached the safety of the parking lot, a deep rumble shook the ground, followed by a series of sharp cracks. He turned just in time to see a section of the community center's roof collapse outward in a billowing cloud of smoke and sparks. "That could have been us," Sarah whispered, her voice reinforced with tremors. "Let's not think about that now." Tyler took a steadying breath, but inside a storm brewed. They were safe, but the emotional toll of the night was just beginning to surface. "What are we going to do about the center?" Eric's voice faltered, realization weighing heavily on his shoulders. Tyler looked back, eyes locking onto the remnants of what had once been a refuge, a place of laughter and love. Would that be the memory they were left with? He turned to his mother, who was gazing at the destruction, her reflection lost in the clouds of dust and despair. How would they pick up the pieces, brimming with shattered dreams? And just as he started piecing together a plan, his phone buzzed violently in his pocket, pulling him back to the present. Who could that be? The glow of the screen revealed an unknown number. Tyler hesitated, feeling the weight of the unknown pressing down around him. "Take the call," Sarah urged, her voice softer now, sensing the drift in his thoughts. "It could be important." With a deep breath, Tyler answered, the chasm of uncertainty opening once again. "Hello?" But the voice on the other end was one he never expected to hear. "Tyler, it's about your mom. You need to know something." A chill skittered down his spine. What new twists had this night conjured? What was about to unravel? "Who is this?" Tyler demanded, his heart pounding. The voice on the other end was cold, foreign. "Listen closely," the voice said, barely above a whisper. "What I have to tell you could change everything." There was a pause, and Tyler could hear rapid breathing. "Your mom is in danger, not from the fire, but from someone she trusts." Tyler's mind raced. The chaos around him began to fade as urgency seized him. "What do you mean? Who are you?" The voice hesitated, the tension thickening the air between them. "I'm someone who knows what's been happening. You need to meet me, tonight. Your mom's safety depends on it." "Are you serious? I can't just leave her. I can't." "Do you want to help her or not?" The voice cut through him like ice. Every heartbeat echoed in his ears, urging him to act, but doubt crept in. Where? Tyler's grip tightened around the phone, his entire being focused on the conversation. Behind the old library, 15 minutes, don't tell anyone. I'll be waiting. Before he could respond, the line went dead. Tyler blinked, confusion swirling with determination. He glanced at his mother, who stood with Eric and Sarah, her figure silhouetted against the fading light of a crumbling community. Just moments ago, she was a pillar of strength. But what if there was a threat lurking closer than the flames? Tyler? Tyler turned to see Sarah watching him, eyes probing and worried. What did they say? I have to go. There's someone I need to find out about. The words were heavy on his tongue, fear gnawing at his insides. You can't, not now. Eric shook his head, voice trembling with urgency. This isn't a good time to run off. We need you here. Do you care more about the fire or about my mom? Tyler felt rage bubbling up, but he needed them to understand. She might be in real danger. I can't just stand here. Tension hung in the air like smoke from the fire. Sarah stepped closer, concern reaching deep into her eyes. Tyler, if something is wrong, we'll help you. You don't have to go alone. The urgency of the call pulled him apart. He yearned for reassurance from those closest to him, yet his instincts screamed for him to act. I can't, he started, but his voice faltered. If you're with me, we'll be a bigger target. A flicker of determination passed between Sarah and Eric, and Tyler felt their bond tighten. Then we'll go with you, Sarah announced. If there's any danger, we'll face it together. Tyler studied her fierce expression and Eric's nod of agreement. It didn't matter what that voice had said. He would not confront this threat alone. Together, they would delve deeper into the shadows closing in on his mother. They moved swiftly, the urgency in their steps keeping pace with rising smoke in the backdrop. Tyler's pulse raced, not just for his mother's safety, but for the unknown that awaited them. What truth was he about to uncover? Was the danger more complex than he could imagine? As the library loomed ahead, pale and worn, a heavy silence fell over them, tension thick in the night air. Tyler led the way, heart pounding as they approached the alley behind the building. Shadows flickered, and he took a steadying breath, fearing whatever awaited him would shake the very foundation of his life. Stay close, he whispered, anxiety flickering in his chest. With each step, a feeling rolled through him, anticipation mixed with dread. What would they find in the darkness? Could it really be true? The truth had the power to shatter everything, and just as they were about to turn the corner, he caught sight of a figure waiting in the shadows. Tyler! The figure emerged, and Tyler's world tilted on its axis. "Who are you?" he asked, the urgency mounting in his voice. "Someone you should have trusted a long time ago." And in that moment, Tyler realized this night was just the beginning of a deeper mystery. What revelations awaited them in the shadows? The figure stepped forward from the shadows, revealing a familiar face. Tyler's breath caught in his throat. It was his mother's closest friend, Jolene. But something about her eyes was different, darker. There was a desperation in them that twisted the knot of fear in Tyler's stomach. "Jolene?" His voice trembled as he took in her disheveled appearance. "What's going on? What do you know about my mom?" "Tyler, you shouldn't be here," she said urgently, glancing around as if afraid someone might be watching. "It's not safe." "Safe? You just told me my mom's in danger." Tyler felt frustration bubbling to the surface, mixed with the concern that pushed him this far. "You need to tell me what's happening, now." Jolene hesitated, the weight of her words hanging heavily in the air. "Okay," she whispered, stepping closer. "But you must promise to keep this between us. If anyone else finds out, it'll be too late. Tyler nodded, urging her to continue. Just tell me. It's about James, your mother's boyfriend, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. He's not what he seems. He's been manipulating her, and it goes deeper than you think. Manipulating? What do you mean? Is he hurting her? Jolene winced. Emotionally, yes, but it's more than that. I've seen him act unsettlingly towards her. There are secrets she's never told you, and it's been tearing her apart. Tyler's heart raced. Why didn't you say anything before? Why now? Because she wouldn't listen, Jolene replied, her voice strained. I thought I could protect her, but she trusts him completely. I had to do something. That's why I called you. Called me? I didn't know it was you. Jolene shook her head. I didn't think it'd come to this. I thought I could convince her myself, but he's gotten to her, Tyler. I've seen how he twists her words. It's like she's not herself anymore. The knot in Tyler's stomach tightened. He remembered how his mom had seemed off these past few weeks, distant and distracted. Where is she? Is he with her now? No, thank heavens. She's at home. But if he finds out you're looking into this, he'll do anything to stop you. Tyler felt the fear clawing at him again. What do? We can't just sit here. Jolene took a step back, her eyes darting nervously. We need evidence, something that proves he's holding your mom back. We can't go against him without it. Tyler's mind raced. He couldn't let James's manipulation continue. The thought of his mom living in fear tore at him. We have to confront him. If he's dangerous, then we need to know. I can't let him hurt her any longer. Are you sure you're ready for that? Jolene asked, her voice trembling with concern. This could change everything.
Anything is better than letting him keep hurting her, Tyler replied fiercely, determination hardening in his gut. Then we need to be smart about this, she warned, her demeanor shifting to one of fierce resolve. Let's gather whatever we can and go back to your mom. We'll find a way to protect her. As they turned to leave, Tyler felt a surge of adrenaline at the thought of taking action. You're right, he said, glancing back at the creeping shadows. We have to do this for her. But just as they stepped out of the alley, a familiar figure loomed ahead, blocking the path. What are you two doing here? James sneered, his shadow stretching ominously in the darkness. Tyler's heart dropped. The confrontation was about to escalate, and he had no idea what James was capable of. Get ready, Jolene whispered, gripping Tyler's arm tightly. This is when everything changes. What was going to happen next? Would Tyler's bravery bring the truth to light or only deepen his mother's peril? Tyler's pulse thundered in his ears as James stepped into the dim light, a predatory grin curling his lips. Jolene tightened her grip on Tyler's arm, and he could feel the tension radiating from her. This was it, the moment they had both feared and anticipated. Why don't you answer me, Tyler? James demanded, his voice low and challenging. What are you doing with Jolene? Shouldn't you be at home, minding your own business? Tyler swallowed hard, trying to find his voice. I'm here for my mom. I know what you're doing to her, and it stops now. James laughed, a chilling sound that sent a shiver down Tyler's spine. What are you going to do? You're just a kid. You don't know anything about the real world, about life. The words hung heavy in the air. Tyler felt anger rise within him, hot and sharp. I know enough. I know she's not happy anymore, and it's because of you. Your mother is a strong woman. She can make her own choices, James snapped, stepping closer, invading Tyler's space. The smell of something stale and musty wafted toward him, making his stomach turn. Choices? What kind of choice is that? Jolene interjected, her voice fierce. You've twisted her upside down. She's scared to even think for herself. A flash of irritation crossed James's face. "Stay out of this, Jolene. You've already meddled too much." Tyler felt his legs tremble, but he stood firm. "You think you can control everything? My mom deserves better than this. We won't let you hurt her anymore." James's eyes narrowed, and Tyler could see a flicker of something dangerous lurking behind that calm facade. "You really have no idea what you're getting into, do you?" Suddenly, a voice in the distance interrupted. "James, is everything okay?" Tyler turned, hope surging through him momentarily. His mother's voice. It was faint, but he recognized it anywhere. "Mom!" "Stay back," James barked, raising a hand as if to physically block Tyler. "No!"
"Tyler!" shouted, the fear for his mother igniting his courage. "Let her come here. She deserves to know the truth." James laughed again, but it was different this time. There was a hint of nervousness creeping through. "You think exposing me will help your cause? You have no proof. You're just a scared little boy." "Tyler!" His mom's voice grew louder. She was getting closer. "What's happening?" "Mom, please!" Tyler shouted, his voice breaking. "You need to hear me. We have to get away from him." "Stop it!" James barked, stepping between them. "She doesn't need to be involved in this." "No," Jolene spoke, her tone unwavering. "She does need to know. This ends now." With a surge of determination, Tyler pushed past James, forcing his way toward the faint flicker of his mother's silhouette. The moment his eyes landed on her, pain shot through him. She looked tired, drawn, like a shadow of the woman he knew. "Mom," he pleaded. "Tyler!" Her eyes widened, and he knew she saw the fear on his face. Fear for her, fear for himself. "What's going on?" His mom glanced nervously from Tyler to Jolene to James. Before Tyler could respond, James stepped forward, covering his tracks with false calmness. "I was just making sure everything is fine with your son, Elizabeth. No need to worry." "Fine? Fine doesn't involve you intimidating him," Tyler blurted out, adrenaline surging. As his mother turned to him, confusion etched in her features, Tyler felt his heart race. He couldn't back down now. "Mom, you have to listen to me. He's been lying to you. I know everything." "But what if she doesn't see it?" Jolene whispered. The weight of the moment settled heavily around them. Would his mom finally understand? Would she see through the facade? Suddenly, James shifted, impatience brewing in his eyes. "Maybe it's time for you both to leave." Tyler's heart sank. Time was running out. "Mom, please," he urged again, desperation clawing at his throat. "You have to choose now. Choose us. We can get away from him." James lunged, and in that moment it was unclear who would win this battle of hearts and minds. Would Tyler succeed in breaking the chains that held his mother captive, or would James pull them deeper into darkness? The air was thick, suffocating with tension. It was now or never, but were they ready for the truth? Tyler's heart raced, pounding against his ribcage like a caged animal desperate for freedom. In that split second, everything seemed to slow down. The flickering overhead light cast shadows that danced ominously, echoing the turmoil within him. For a moment, he was frozen, caught between fear and a fierce determination to protect his mother. "Tyler!" His mom's voice cut through the haze, sharp and desperate. "What's happening?" "Mom, listen to me." Tyler fought against the suffocating grip of James, who moved with a predatory grace meant to intimidate. "He's been lying to you. I can't let him keep you trapped." "Trapped?"
Elizabeth repeated, confusion mingling with growing alarm. "What do you mean?" James took a threatening step forward, his eyes flashing with anger. "This is all a misunderstanding, Elizabeth. You don't want to hear his wild accusations.
He's just trying to embarrass me and tear our family apart. Family. Tyler clung to the word, feeling a mixture of rage and pity for a man who twisted language like a puppet master. He's not family. He's ruining everything. Enough, James roared, the force of his voice sending a tremor through the room. I won't let you talk to her that way. You don't know what you're messing with. Tyler felt a surge of courage swell inside him. Every moment of doubt that had plagued him until now was gone, replaced by a fierce clarity. He could see the deception enveloping his mother, wrapping her in a shroud of fear. You're afraid of exposing yourself, aren't you? That's why you want her to believe you. Stay out of this, James snapped, but his bravado faltered. James, Elizabeth's voice was barely above a whisper, but it held an undeniable strength. Is this true? What's really going on? Tyler's heart soared. Was she finally waking up? He glanced at Jolene, who stood beside him, her eyes urging him to continue. Mom, please, remember how happy you used to be? How you always told me to stand up for what's right. This is your moment. Let's take back control. Tyler, her expression wavered, torn between the life she had built and the truth he was revealing. Let him go, Elizabeth. James's voice dripped with poison. He doesn't know what's best for you. He's just scared. Scared? Tyler felt fire in his veins. No, I'm brave enough to face the truth. I'm fighting for you. For a short moment, Tyler watched as his mother's face shifted through a whirlwind of emotions, confusion, fear, and a flicker of realization. It hit him deep. She wanted to believe, but could she break free from the chains of fear that bound her? Before the air could swallow those precious seconds, James lunged forward, but Tyler was ready. He squared his shoulders, blocking his path toward Elizabeth. You're not scaring us anymore. James froze, breathing heavily, a muscle ticking in his jaw. You don't get it, do you? You're playing a dangerous game. You think you can save her? She made her choice. No, she didn't choose this. Tyler's voice rang out, desperate but unwavering. This is manipulation, abuse disguised as love. Mom, please fight back. I'm here for you. The room held its breath, the tension nearly crackling under the weight of their conflicting truths. Elizabeth stepped forward, eyes narrowing as she drew strength from Tyler's plea. James, maybe you've been blind to your own actions. James's facade was crumbling, rage boiling beneath his skin. Tyler's breath caught in his throat. Had he truly reached her? Suddenly, James lunged again, but this time Tyler was ready. He pressed forward, hands clenched into fists, prepared to battle for every piece of his mother's freedom. But then, just as he felt the walls of his spirit strengthening, a sudden realization paralyzed him. What if this only ignited James's fury? What would happen next? James's voice was filled with venom, mocking and low. You think this is over? You think she'll ever choose you over me? You're nothing, just a scared boy. Tyler, don't! Jolene shouted. In that chilling moment, uncertainty teetered above them like a storm cloud. What gamble was worth this risk? Would he be able to stand strong enough to face whatever darkness their next move would bring? A decision hung in the air, heavy with the weight of love and fear. Tyler gritted his teeth, ready for whatever came next. Would they ever truly escape the shadow James cast over their lives? The room held its breath, the tension spiraling like smoke from the fire outside as Tyler faced off against James. The two men stood at a precipice, words sharp as knives, ready to cut deep. Why throw away your life for a woman who can't even stand up for herself? James sneered, his voice ice cold. Tyler's heart raced. Every ounce of anger transformed into a surge of determination.
"She's stronger than you think," he shouted back, feelings crashing over him like waves. "I won't let you suffocate her spirit with your lies." Elizabeth's eyes widened, a flicker of realization dancing across her features. Tyler could see the moment she began to grasp the tumult soaring around her, a yearning to break free, to fight back. "Tyler is right," she finally said, her voice shaky but resolute. "I haven't been happy, not for a long time." A pulse of silence struck the air like a gong. James looked at her, disbelief morphing into rage. "Elizabeth, don't be foolish. You've built a life with me, your home, your security. Do you think he can offer you that? He's just a kid." "Security?" Tyler couldn't hold back the incredulity. "You call this fear and control security? It's a cage. You've been too blind to see it." Elizabeth's gaze shifted between them, and in that moment Tyler felt hope bloom within him. "Mom, you're not alone. You have me, and you have Jolene. We can make it through." As he spoke, he felt the strength infusing her aura. Something stirred in her eyes, a flickering ember of strength rekindled. "James," she said slowly, "I deserve more than a life dictated by someone else's fears." A tremor shot through the room. The air had shifted, and Tyler could see James' angry facade beginning to fracture. Panic filled his gaze. "You don't know what you're doing. I won't let you." "Won't let me?" Elizabeth interrupted, taking a decisive step forward. "I won't be bullied anymore." The electricity simmered. Tyler could feel the ground shifting beneath them, a realignment of priorities. He started stepping forward with his mother, a tangible display of unity that sent a jolt through the air. James opened his mouth, ready to lash out, but Jolene moved closer alongside Tyler. "You've terrorized her long enough. We won't let you keep her in this web of lies and fear." Tyler's heart soared hearing Jolene's courage. Together, they were a force, weaving through the chaos. Their collective strength felt like a beacon cutting through the darkness that James had cast. Then, unexpectedly, the door swung open. Without warning, police officers came pouring in, alerted by the chaos outside. Bright lights flooded the alley, illuminating the scene starkly. The officers immediately assessed the situation. "James, step away," one officer commanded, his voice booming with authority. James's face twisted in shock. "What? This is ridiculous!" He turned to look for a way out, but the officers moved in, blocking any escape. "The only thing ridiculous is what you've been doing to this woman," another officer added, his gaze cutting sharply through the tension. Tyler felt relief wash over him, the exhale of tension releasing at last. "Thank you," he whispered as his mom stood by his side, their shoulders touching, united. Elizabeth nodded, tears shimmering in her eyes. I didn't see the truth before." "You're safe now, Mom. We'll figure this out together," Tyler said, his heart lifting with hope. As the officers handled the situation, Tyler felt a warmth envelop him. This newfound strength surged through him like sunlight breaking through a long storm. Once on the other side of chaos, he turned to Jolene, gratitude radiating in his eyes. "Thank you for what you did, for believing." "I did it for her," Jolene said softly, nodding toward Elizabeth, who was finally beginning to look lighter, the shadows slowly lifting off her shoulders. Moments later, as the scene slowly began to unravel into order, Tyler took his mother's hand in his. "We'll rebuild, together." With a gentle squeeze, Elizabeth smiled through the tears, a radiant glow beginning to shine through the cracks. Together. The strength of their collective bond broke through the haze of despair, and in that shared moment, Tyler knew their family would rise from the ashes, stronger than before. And finally, the storm inside felt like it was quieting, replaced by the warmth of love, connection, and a renewed sense of purpose. "Let's go home." our home. This is the moment to show your support. If you enjoyed this incredible journey, you need to subscribe now to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories that will touch your heart. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and let's spread the love far and wide. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this gripping ending. And don't wait, not even one more second, to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Let's make sure everyone feels the power of this story.